Hi guys, this is a working model of an haptic arm. These are the materials required. This is the microprocessor with its cable, motor drivers, motors, battery with its connectors, potentiometers, screws, and these are all the mechanical parts required for the bot. Connectors. These are the skeleton of the arm. Well, now let's start the making of arm. First, install the WinAVS software into your system. Click the next button, do all the Well, now the software got installed into your system. This is the user manual. Just have a good glance at it. Create a new folder onto your desktop, naming it as head. In the search bar, type Programmer's Notepad. Open it. Close all the windows like text clips, tags, projects, then scripts, then find results. Only the output screen and the programming screen must be present. Type the program. Be careful, this is a case sensitive language. After writing the program, please save it as main.c in the head folder which you have created on your desktop. Go to Tools, click on Make All. You'll get a process exit code 2. This is because there is no uh, result file. Copy the make file present in the install folder into the head folder. Then again open your Programmer's Notepad, click on Tools, Make All, and now you'll get a process exit code 0. And you will find more than 2 files in your head folder. These and of this main.hex is your result. After clicking it, when you go to Tools and click on Make Program, you'll get a process exit code 2. This is because you have not connected your microprocessor to your systems. Well, this is your microprocessor, guys. Cable connectors, motor connectors, PC, PB, PD ports, battery connectors, and the reset buttons are all present on it. Connect the Connect the microprocessor to your systems. Now open the lib usb folder which is present in your AVR software program. Then click on inf wizard, then do all the necessary requirements, save it, then click on install now. It will install the driver. Installation is successful. Now right click on computer, then properties, go to device manager. You'll find lib usb in that USB ASP. USB ASP refers to your microprocessor which is connected to your system. Now we have removed it and so it has gone. Now it's connected again. Well guys, let's write a small program on how a microprocessor works. Never forget to click on tools, make all and then program. Before clicking on program, do not forget to press the reset button. Now you can see that there are lights glowing on your processor. Well, that was your first program for embedded systems. Let's write another program which will show delay of lights. Tools, make all, then tools, program. Please do reset the board. Now you can see lights glowing. Well, this is your potentiometer. Guys, this is the way you can connect your potentiometer to your microprocessor board. Please be careful while connecting the potentiometer. You should connect it to the PC port. And do remember that the blue wire should go into the upper layer. Well, that is how you connect your potentiometer to your board. Now copy the adc.h file into your head folder. Now let's write a small program in which you will control your lights using the potentiometer. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. I was in a bit of hurry. Click on tools, make all. You will get process exit code as 0. Then click again on tools and program. You will get process exit code 0. Well, see, you can see that the lights are glowing. Now when you turn it clockwise, you will see that the lights are glowing for a longer time. And now when you have turned it anti-clockwise, they are glowing for a small time. And guys, be careful while you're writing the program. You should see that the potentiometer's reading or the on port C must match when you write it on your program. If it is connected to the fifth port, then you should write it 0x05. Do not forget it. Well, that is your battery, and this is how you connect your battery to your board. Connect it to the LS circuit. You can find it on your board. There's a green light glowing just straight to it. Well, that's your motor. You have to connect your motor to the PD port. See, you can find M6 and M7 ports. Place the wires and screw it. Make sure that you connect them properly. Well, that is how you connect your motor to your board. And remember to connect the battery because your motor runs on the battery. Now let's write a small program to see the working of your motor with the help of your board. Well, I have adjusted the delay time to 1500 so that you can see the clear motion of how your motor turns. Well, after the given delay time, the motor will start to turn in the opposite direction. Now click on tools, make all, you'll get a process exit code 0 and the same from program. Well guys, you can see that after 1500 milliseconds, your motor is turning in both the directions, in clockwise as well as anti-clockwise. Well, now let's write a small program in which you'll control your motor's motion with the help of the potentiometers given to you. Sorry for the delay, guys. I'm a bit slow in typing. Well, that's the end of your program. Now click on Tools, Make All. Check whether you're getting the process exit code 0 or not, then program it. Well, you know how to connect your potentiometer, and see when he turns it to the clockwise direction, it moves in the clockwise, and when in anti-clockwise, it moves in the anti-clockwise direction. If it turns in the opposite direction, don't worry, it's just a mesh polarity. Well, that's your L293 motor driver, an additional driver so that you can connect additional motors. Well, you can see you can connect your battery to that point. For this battery, there's different connectors, not which is shown for the microcontroller. This has a very different pin. Those are the connectors which are required to connect to your motor driver to the microcontroller. You should either place it in the input B1, B2 or input A1, A2 ports. Input B1, B2 and input A1, A2 are responsible for transferring the program from microcontroller to your motor driver board. When you are connecting to input B1, B2, please make sure that you should connect it to the MB12 part, and that input B1, B2 should be connected to the PB port of your microcontroller. You can even connect it to the input A1 A2 and make sure that the motor wires are connected to MA12. Well, let's start with the construction of your bot. You can even try to write a program on your 2 motors and 3 motors working. That's the first part, and the motor needs to be placed on the top part, not in the bottom, guys, and see that it fits exactly. The small screw type should go into the hole. Fix it with the screws given to you, and please make sure that you tighten it. That's the second part. Well guys, as you remember, you are given 3 motors, so there must be 3 parts, and this is the second part. You should place it on the top, not in the bottom. Tighten it with the screws. Fix it properly. Make sure that the motor doesn't move, because while working there might be a chance that it might become loose and come out. That's your third part, the base of your bot. And for this part, you should place the motor from the inside. See that all the motors are placed tightly, are fixed tightly. Well, that's your second part. That's the spun worm gear. The worm gear needs to be ridden on the motor's base. You can see how it is placed. You need to fix it to the motor with the help of a screw given to you. See guys, be careful that it should be tight. It shouldn't be loose. That's your first part, guys. That is a part given to you which will help you in making the arm. While fixing it, remember that the bolts should come from the inside, not from the outside, guys, from the inside. Make sure that it's pretty tight. Well, I guess you guys can fix it. Well, that's how it looks after you have fixed the bolts. And remember guys, it must be tight. See that the plate's bottom part is connected with bolts from the inside. It should be placed on both sides of the frame. Tighten all the 4 bolts and nuts properly. See that it doesn't have a free movement, it should be tight. Well, that's how it looks after everything has been fixed tightly. Be careful with the motor, guys, you might lose its soldering while doing the programming. That's your first part. And second part, fix the worm gear in the bottom part of the motor as shown for the base with the help of a screw, and remember to tighten it properly. That's the wheel, which has 2 openings on which these 2 plates are to be placed. And remember, while fixing it, it shouldn't be tight, it should have a free movement. And the screw should come from the bottom, not from the top, guys, from the bottom. You'll know the reason why it's being fixed from the bottom later. Well, guys, as I said, it should be fixed loosely so that it has a free movement. You need to place the wheelbase onto the third part of your board. Fix it properly and tighten it with the screw. See that whether it turns on the motor or not. That's your second part and third part. The bolt which is bigger in size is fixed properly. See that it's tight. The second part goes onto the wheelbase in such a manner that the worm gear comes in the bottom, not in the top, guys, in the bottom. See, that's how it looks after it's fixed. Worm gear should come in the bottom. The plates are still moving because the other part hasn't been fixed. See that the screw which you have fitted to the part goes inside the worm gear. Now fix it with the screws given to you. See that the screws are compatible. If the screws don't go easily, force on it to go inside. That's how the base of your Haptic arm looks like. The screw goes inside the worm gear You can see it has a free movement. That's the spun gear. I think you guys remember you have been given a rod with a small dent in it. You might be wondering why this dent has been given to you. You see that spun gear? You have a screw on it. When you driven that rod into the spun gear, see that the screw comes onto the dent and it's pretty much tight. To tighten it, you need to screw that tightly. Drive it properly. You have been given two washers, which you can see they are horseshoe washers, which are placed on the rod in the outside part. That's how your bot looks. It has a free movement. Now that's your spun gear. Remember guys, the screw must be fixed tightly. Well, for the remaining two spun gears, remove the screws. You have been given two small rods. Driven those rods into the holes of those spun gears. Driven it forcefully because it won't go it easily. Well, those are the hands of your bot which are fixed to the spun gear. You might need to use paper or something because the spun gear's holes are rather too big for the screws which are given to you. See that the arms are fixed very tightly. It shouldn't be loose. It must be fixed very tightly, guys. Well, that's your first part. Spun gears with the arms. And now the spun gear must be fixed onto the base as shown. You need to fix them with the screws given to you, and while fixing it, it's the toughest part, guys. See that the arm has a very free movement. Well, that's how your first part looks, the arm of your bot. Now this arm is driven onto the second part, which has the rod, and to that rod you need to tighten them with the screws. Well, that's the end of your